Welcome everybody, I am 6am Comics, and this is reviewing my 9-year-old's comics. A long time ago, we reviewed an incredibly short and disturbingly violent comic book known as Fox Boy. The story of a young boy who can transform into a giant fox through the use of a magical sword. Now, for the longest time, it was believed that this was an abandoned IP. But if you can expect anything from Worldwide Comics, it's that you never know what to expect. Like this book here, Fox Boy and the Red Panda. The glorious reemergence of one of Nolan's most obscure characters to date. And he's got a sidekick now. So how about we take a look inside and see what this wild card's all about. Alright. Beginning with the overall presentation, this is a clear upgrade from the previous Fox Boy introduction. And it's obvious that this sidelined IP is finally being given the worldwide treatment it deserves with this beautifully designed cover, presented in full color Crayola with a wildly improved character design and a full-page illustrated background. Standing proudly beside our title hero is Fox Boy's newly introduced sidekick, the Red Panda. In his blue uniform? I guess if he were wearing red, as his name suggests, he'd look a little too much like Nightcrawler. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I digress. Much like the original, this comic is on the shorter end of the worldwide page count, coming in at about 5 pages in length. As is generally the standard, this is a triple staple floppy, and the interiors are presented in black and white. While I would have preferred the art to have been ink-based to avoid potential smudging, Nolan's pencil work is breathtaking, and takes advantage of the shading benefits that come with a trusty number 2. A number 2 pencil. Come on, this is a classy show. Separating it from a lot of other worldwide efforts, the setting of the story is just as prominent as the characters and the plot, as KixFox Island is beautifully presented in the page work with cityscape silhouettes and masterfully drawn three-dimensional objects, such as the skyscraper and even our hero's trademark vehicle, the Fox Box. While not as violent as the debut issue, Fox Boy and Red Panda number 1 does offer plenty of action-packed fisticuffs and physical battle damage to keep its more mature readers satisfied, while still offering a more family-friendly appeal so as to not make any parents nervous about this comic being passed around by their child at recess. But enough of all that. Let's give it a read. We begin with an introduction to our book's setting.
Welcome to KixFox Island. KixFox Island is an island somewhere near New York, but is undiscovered. Here at KixFox, a mob from Russia dwells here. They are cruel, selfish, sometimes drunk murderers. KixFox Island is a beautiful place. If you look north, you can see New York.
As we're shown in this diagram, KixFox is about 5 miles from New York City. So that would put it roughly about here. Wait a minute. What is that? Swinburne Island? Okay. Let's just move on before the government kicks down my door.
But the city has hope. Fox Boy!
And there it is, the epic reveal of our title hero as he delivers a bone-cracking spin kick to the face of a Russian mob boss.
Fox Boy is a red-headed human who can turn into a man fox.
A light retcon, as the original transformation was accomplished through the use of a magical sword, a la He-Man. Also, I never said this book had zero violence. I mean, look at that bloody tooth. So violent.
His secret identity is Warren Burgensterm.
English word ahead and moving.
As we fade to black, our tale begins. We cut to Fox Boy's headquarters, the Fox Den, where he catches up with the sidekick, Red Panda, who wears blue. Hello, old chum. I just finished kicking more Russian butt. They're back at Fox City? Afraid so. They've got hostages too that we need to rescue. Why don't the police handle this? Are they too busy eating donuts? Yeesh. I hope this kid never gets pulled over by somebody who watches this channel. They have no idea of the chaos that is happening around town. Luckily, I know that the Russians keep their hostages at a hotel. Well, that's nice at least. To the Fox Box! We're introduced to our duo's means of transportation, the Fox Box. A comically Fox-themed van reminiscent of the Mutz Cuts Shaggin' Wagon from Dumb and Dumber.
Soon, Foxboy and Red Panda arrive at the KixFox Hotel.
Freeze, or this man gets it! I like how they don't actually keep their hostages inside the hotel, but rather stand around the parking lot with them in a threatening manner instead. Those nightly rates must be really high. Foxboy and Red Panda whisper amongst themselves as they formulate a plan.
A bit later,
We see that Red Panda has taken a more strategical position on top of the hotel roof, while Foxboy continues to negotiate with the Russian mobster. We zoom in on Red Panda's tail as it cocks itself and begins rapid firing its sharp hairs like a machine gun.
the hairs of the Red Panda fly through the air and hits its target.
The Russian mobster falls to the ground, devastated by the panda's attack as the hostage makes a break for it. Not even a thank you.
The evil man falls. And they all lived happily ever after. Except for him.
I don't know about that though. His thumbs up sort of implies otherwise. If you ask me, I think they should have given him the classic Foxboy treatment.
The end.
What a perfect reimagining of a nearly forgotten property. Strangely pulling a reverse Batman in which we take a dark and gritty property and give it a lighthearted, campy overhaul. Foxboy and Red Panda have a fun camaraderie that serves as a fun throwback to classic duos like Batman and Robin, Green Hornet and Kato, and Inspector Jacques Clouseau and that other Kato, with a C, who also knows martial arts. What I find interesting about the story is its emphasis on the mysterious KixFox Island, a hidden piece of land off the coast of New York City. As I pointed out earlier, the location of this island is disturbingly close to one of two artificial islands constructed in the late 1800s, used to quarantine infected immigrants on their way to Ellis Island. There's not a lot of information about these islands, and to this day they are off limits to the public. Could it be Swinburne Island eventually became the crime-ridden city known as KixFox? Were the majority of the immigrants that were housed there perhaps of Russian descent? And just what were they being quarantined for? Now, the official records indicate an outbreak of cholera, but what if it were something just a little more sinister? Something closer to a genetic mutation? Maybe the kind of mutation that could turn a man into a fox? Or a young boy into an anthropomorphic red panda? If you ask me, there's a rich history to explore on KixFox Island, and we've only begun to scratch the surface. But let's shift away from the city and analyze the specifics of our title hero, Foxboy. It's clear this character has undergone a transformation since we last saw the intellectual property debuted in 2024. While he still carries similar characteristics to the original book, i.e. a red-headed man who turns into a big fox, there are some significant changes. First of all, his use of a magic sword to manifest his mutation into a fox. The implication now is that he can transform at will, and his human form acts as more of a secret identity to hide himself from the dangerous Russians who terrorize the island. His costume in the book now accurately reflects the costume presented on the cover of the original book, but was missing from the initial story where he chops a man in half. Speaking of chopping a man in half, this updated version has removed the violent anti-hero nature of the original concept, making it a drastic shift into a more family-friendly tone. However, I was informed by Foxboy's creator Nolan that the first issue was still considered canonical. At least the whole thing about slicing a man in half, as he claims that, quote, the man was just one of the Russians. I mean, when you put it that way, well, we have been watching a lot of 80s action flicks, I suppose. Right on. And there you have it. Foxboy and the Red Panda, issue number 1. It's crazy to think that such an obscure and simple concept could become such a rich world-building IP. I, for one, am excited to see where the series goes, and if we'll ever see Foxboy cross paths with the likes of Black Widow or even Super Nolan. In any case, while we wait for that day, I should probably go ahead and rate this bad boy. I'm going to go ahead and give this issue a rating of 3 Ivan Dragos, because that's how many Dragos Rocky saw right before he knocked him out and had a crowd of Soviets cheering for the US of A.
I see 3 of them out there.
Get the one in the middle.
That rating made no sense, but the book's about a fox fighting Russians, and it's the first thing that popped in my head. Sub it, like it, share it, I'm out.